You have a few weeks left. Maybe you've already resigned and you're working out your notice. Maybe you're preparing for a new role within the company. Or there's a project that has been completed and you're on to the next one. Either way, you've got to think about the legacy that you leave behind. I'm Dawn, and this is Have That Talk. Let's talk about the handover. It's more than a document, a one-time thing that you pull together. It's also more than just one conversation. And it's important because it determines how work will continue to proceed after you've left. Sometimes there'll be somebody to hand over to, but many times they might not be. Either way, you need to think about how you can get all that intrinsic knowledge in your mind into a format that somebody else can pick up and run with. The handover is fundamentally about transferring certainty. But how can you do that when so much of the knowledge that is in your head is invisible to you? It's stuff that you take for granted. You know which stakeholders need to be consulted before a decision is communicated. You know which numbers in the dashboard are important and which ones are just noise. You know which agreements are formal and need to be documented, and which ones are a common understanding that is not written down, but works because of the trust between you. You also know where the hotspots are, the burning issues underneath the surface, and how to deal with them. A lot of this isn't explicitly described in a job description. It's part of all the tasks and activities that go on between the lines. And that's the challenge of the handover, because a lot of this stuff is informal, intuitive, and invisible. If it isn't done well, the handover has a huge cost. Your poor successor will spend the first few weeks or months of their role trying to figure things out, pulling together documents, wondering who to speak to, and not really being productive at all. It also has a cost to the team, because they will carry even a heavier burden of onboarding the new person. They will also have to figure out what your secret systems were, and without a map, it's impossible. And of course, the work itself will suffer. Projects will get delayed, mistakes will be made, customers and stakeholders will be unhappy. Someone leaving a role creates a glitch in the system, and the handover should be designed to make that glitch as small and as unintrusive as possible. So when preparing a handover, have a sit down and think about all the people that you were in closest contact with. What were your interactions? What were your communications channels? What was the content of your collaboration? What are the quirks of the individuals that you've had to deal with? How did you manage that relationship? And also what their specific needs were. From there, you can create the foundation for your handover. What are the key processes? What are the key documents and where are they saved? Also outline the obstacles, the barriers, what's not working, what you've already tried, what you would recommend, who are the people or the meetings or the departments that have been tricky to handle. It may look fine on paper, but people won't realize that you've been handling a lot of things that are basically invisible. So what you're doing is not just creating a document with a list of tasks and a list of people. You're creating a playbook for how to succeed in the role that you're leaving behind. You want your successor to be successful, and you probably won't see that. It'll be a reflection back on you, and it will also show up in the reference that your manager might give to your future boss. A question you might ask yourself is, should I make myself available for questions after I've left? Now, only you know the answer to that, but let me give you some context that you might need to consider. First of all, you'll be in a new job trying to find your feet. Will you even have time to answer all those follow-up questions after you've left? And also, how long do you want to make yourself available? What if you get a call 3 months later, or 6 months later, or a year later? What will you still remember about what you did all that time ago? So if you're tempted to make yourself available, just consider these things as a little amber flag calling your attention to the risks. And as a final point, who do you hand over to? Obviously, if your successor is already in place, you hopefully have the opportunity to have those discussions directly. Also think of the team. What are they going to need to know? Where is it all saved? How can you make it as easy as possible for them? And finally, also think about your manager. They will want to know that you're not only leaving your position, you're also preparing the space for whoever comes next. So think about your successor, the team, and your manager when you go in to have that talk. Okay? I'll see you next time.